through the years call the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man, that we're all brothers, that God is the father of all of us, and that we're all brothers. That is a lie. The unsaved man, that individual man who has never been born again, Satan is your father, spiritually speaking, until you are adopted into his family. Only then does he become your father and you become his child.
He's already done it. He's not healing you today. Healing was provided 2,000 years ago. It's not what God is doing. It's about what he's done. He's already healed me. He's already delivered me. He's already prospered me. He's already provided for loneliness. He's already delivered from depression. My money already there. My provisions already there. My companions already there.
They will fight you to hold on to a system that's not working. How long will you hold on to a dysfunctional system and let life pass you by? The system that is killing you is how you speak, how you understand.
A confident woman will refuse to be defeated. Number one, a confident woman knows that she is loved. Secret number two, the confident woman refuses to live in fear. Secret number three, a confident woman has a positive attitude. Number four, a confident woman recovers from setbacks. Number five, a confident woman avoids comparisons. Number six, a confident woman takes action. She takes initiative. She's aggressive, not passive. She doesn't talk about the problem, she does something about the problem. And last but not least, a confident woman does not live in if only and what if. She refuses to live in self-pity. You can be pitiful or you can be powerful, but you can't be both.
Unlovable, awkward. We all wrote down one thing about ourselves that we admired. We forced ourselves. I wrote, I think I'm smart, I like that I'm different, and I'm a good artist. We can turn up the volume on our positive thinking. We can
Courtiers
build
would
up
work silently
those thoughts
and
about ourselves
secretly.
that are good.
While appearing the very paragon of elegance, they had to outwit and thwart their own opponents in the subtlest of ways. The successful courtier learned over time to make all of his moves indirect. If he stabbed an opponent in the back, it was with a velvet glove on his hand and the sweetest of smiles on his face. Instead of using coercion or outright treachery, the perfect courtier got his way through seduction, charm, deception, and subtle strategy, always planning several moves ahead. Life in the court was a never-ending game that required constant vigilance and tactical thinking. It was
This is the
civilized.
membrane of the neuron. Membrane. This is outside the neuron or the cell. You have sodium and potassium ions. So that's sodium and they're positively charged ions have a +1 charge. So there's some potassium inside the cell and then there's some potassium outside. It's a plus charge, and then there's some sodium inside the cell. They're all positively charged. Sodium inside, some sodium outside. It turns out that cells have more positive charge outside of their membranes
Looking
than
into the most
inside
ancient
their
culture we
membranes.
have, which is known as Sumer. Today's modern-day Iraq, 6,000 years ago, was called Mesopotamia, Babylon, but the first culture to come up in southern Iraq was called Sumer. The Sumerian civilization invented over 100 of the first needed for civilization to take place, meaning they were the first ones to invent writing, mathematics, systems of laws, courts, judges, agriculture. Many of the sciences and things that we still use today came from Sumerian understandings. The Sumerians and their system of writing, which was called cuneiform script, was done on clay and then fired up into stoves and turned into stone tablets. Many of the tablets and scriptures that they've left us in stone form unchanged directly parallel the Hebrew and English New Testament.
Circumference to its diameter, and it's the number 3.1415. This legend is through English Gematria, and this is the cipher we're going to use today. The legend of Hiram Abiff is not explicitly told in the Bible. Hiram was employed to build King Solomon's temple. Now Hiram Abiff was a master mason.
I said stone cold! Stone cold! What part of stone cold you not understand? 29 pieces of trash! From the top rope! That includes Triple H, Kurt Angle, The Undertaker. The bottom line is Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to win the Royal Rumble and go to WrestleMania, and that's the bottom line. Why? Because Stone Cold...
Eyes are actually the lens. Our eyes, spiritual eyes, are the lens through which we see the world. What we see with our eyes is filtered and colored by the condition of our heart and our minds. And it's like wearing green sunglasses. When you put those on, everything looks green. What you need is a new way of looking at your situation, the people involved, yourself, the circumstances. Because until you change that lens, you're going to see things the same way, no matter what happens.
When you make a decision to focus, you still have to deal with everyday life. When you are focused, there's a clarity of mind. There's an alertness that comes to you that makes you move with ease and exactness in your thinking and in your acting. Focus is fearlessness, confidence beyond the shadow of a doubt. Staying on top of things. You can't be lazy and be focused. Focus is power.
And as long as we believe it is our reality, even if it's not truth, it still becomes our reality because we believe it. Now that doesn't mean the whole problem's going to be solved right away, because it takes time to renew your mind. It takes time to learn how to think right. What kind of life do you want? Have and enjoy your life. It's possible to have a mindset that is destroying your life. Enjoying life begins with a choice. And you know, one of the things that we do is we wait for the conditions in our life to become what we think would be enjoyable. Well, how to enjoy having a vacation or going to a party or getting a new outfit or thank God it's Friday. Not that kind of attitude where I'm just trying to endure everything else so I can get to the few things in life that I like. But when we can take ordinary, everyday life and enjoy it, and just say, I am going to enjoy this, I'm going to enjoy Monday, Tuesday.
I've decided I'm going to rejoice. I made up my mind. I'm going to be happy. I made up my mind. I'm going to enjoy. I'm as healthy as I'm going to be. I'm as young as I'm ever going to be. I can't get any younger. I can't roll the clock back. What I got left, I'm going to maximize this. You have to let the past go and step over into the future and say, I will rejoice. And everything that's holding me back, I refuse to take it over into another year and waste another new year with an old mind. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed. A complete transformation by the renewing. If you knew what I dropped on you just there, you'd just be shouting right now. Dorothy, you could have been home a long time ago. As soon as you decide to stop looking for answers in other people and miracles somewhere down the yellow brick road and click the heels of your mind and set your affections on things that are above, you could have been free years ago.
One, two, three into the four. That's right. I went for mine because the bridge is over. I don't know if y'all got that. Anyway, time for the truth. I'ma drop that. First it started with renewing my mind. Daily. This was hard work many times. I got tired and wanted to die. My greatest life's goal was a honey to ride and enough money to buy another high. And prison was a place I was mentally stuck inside. As I grew older, I couldn't hide. I live on the edge where truth always denied. Now I can say that I'm that beautiful, great, and one of a kind. As a lover or friend, I'd provide something golden to love, almost divine. If I lied to you, it means I've lied to myself first and deep inside. I'm self-deceived. This happens in this world. The blind lead the blind. I tried to confine but fell out of line. Trying to find what no man can find. From the end to the start of time, but couldn't be home, so he'd go on his grind. Hunt for food, chop down wood for fire. Some fishermen and some agriculture. A man planted seeds but got no return, and does the same thing every year with no concern. The problem I had was I was trying to learn what can't be taught, what can't be earned. but can't be given, only received. Then when I stopped, I was finally free. Did it? Things I thought I used to need, I was no longer bound by each word I speak. Spoke life and empowered others. Honey Dip said I'd be a great lover. She's right. I don't know if I'll ever have a chance, or if I'll ever once get another dance. Now, because in life we're never guaranteed what we want, what we need. True. We can search our whole lives for something, working hard and smart for nothing. Things that are trash now we can't even give away, and for many people in our lives are the same. It's like this and like that and like this. Do you wanna ride my magic carpet? Come on, girl. She said yes, then closed her eyes. In a short time, we were on the other side. First we danced in the sky while floating. Then we took a dive inside the ocean. Visited the sunken city of Atlantis. She played her flute as we traveled distant planets. Never in life take true love for granted. I taught her everything I knew, which made her realize her true beauty, and teach others this truth. I was loving life and teaching others how to love it. Being loyal and dedicated were no longer handicaps. Stephen Hawking, I'm sure wants and needs a working body, and all that sets your mind to achieve goals don't really apply here. Yet in many ways, he achieved goals and done things that those with fully functional body parts can't, all due to the power of his mind. Now I love myself and life, teaching others how to ride magic carpets, no longer bound by the limitations of reality, saving and empowering lives through visual art and music. Praise and peace, y'all.
Transform, a complete transformation by the renewing. Woo. If you knew what I dropped on you just there, you just be shouting right now. Dorothy, I want to tell you, you could have been home a long time ago. As soon as you decide to stop looking for answers in other people and miracles somewhere down the yellow brick road and click the heel of your mind and set your affections on things that are above, you could have been free years ago.
You could have been free years ago. True. That's what they told me, but I didn't know. Did I? I know it now, and I'm dedicated to show others how to transmute into gold. Philosopher's Stone's key, magic carpet. I finished my sermon and got off the pulpit. My sermon was on how to overcome hurdles like Edward Moses. Everything was planned, but no one knows this. Later, I'm outside your window singing my serenade. Dee-dee-dee-dotty, dee-dee-dee-dee-dotty day. My love. Come on, honey dip, won't you please come out and play? Please. And of course, she made me wait. And of course. Now we're creeping, and we're creeping, and we're creeping. On my magic carpet, she took a seat then. Told me she was ready to go. Do you know how many times she has told me no? She never been on a violent disc before with a nigga who can rap and control the maestro. We hopped to it like a kangaroo, and time and space we began to travel through. What I used to teach her, she didn't believe it. But anyway, our first destination was Egypt. We watched Moses part the Red Sea then. I told her that the mind is the battleground.
The mind is the battleground. That's where you're going to win it or lose it. And through distractions and through deception, that's where he's going to try to contain you and get you to buy the deception in order to keep you the same. Consider him, or lest you be wearied and faint in your mind. So if you give up, cave in, and quit, it's going to be in your mind where you give up, cave in, and quit. Watch your mind. Don't get weary and don't faint in your mind. Keep resisting. Keep fighting against it. Keep doing it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a battle. You're going to have to fight to win.
I remember losing the fight again and again. But now I win constantly and teach others how to do the same. Anyway, while time traveling, we would chit-chat. She was sweet as a Kit Kat. She said, Winchance, where did you get that beat from? I told her I could pleasure her like DOC, no one could do it better. I dug her up like a pirate's treasure. Showed her she had beauty beyond measure. She's used to niggas that disrespect her. I told her, boo, you have no clue of what the great one David Winchance came to do. No clue. So just chill to the next episode, so I could teach you how to let go. He could have been free years ago. She looked at me and said, yeah, I know. Did we travel to the time before Genesis? We saw men riding dinosaurs in spaceships. Did we travel to another time, and another time, and another time? It's all space-time, like Einstein. She told me my love and friendship was a gold mine. I didn't ask, could I kiss her? In the back of my mind, I really wanted to lick her. She let me, then I proceeded to give her my all like Mariah Carey. When I was done, she was overjoyed and amazed. They told me that was the best she ever had. We next went to Liverpool, where I watched the paint and then played the flute. But then she stopped and cried and told me that for so many years she's been suppressing her creative ideas. But around me, she's empowered, a goddess. So now we've got a problem.
So we've got a problem because every single one of our five senses works by exactly the same program. Not one of them can tell us anything about what exists outside of that program. So in order to know what surrounds us, what the greater reality is, we need to develop an additional sense. So what is it that moves things in reality? What makes things happen? Any motion is happening only as a result of that you have become uncomfortable where you are.
Forget about focusing. You cannot say discipline.
It says the word said to Abram, lift up now your eyes and look from the place where you are, northward and southward and eastward and westward. For the land which you see I will give to you. Arise and walk through the land, the length of it and the breadth of it, for I will give it to you. Can you see yourself living your dream, whatever that dream might be? As long as it's God's dream too, you can live that dream. Can you see it? If you cannot see it, you will never have it. Then he said to him, and whatever you see, I will give it to you. Now you go and walk it out. You go take it. That means you got to take some action.
Something so critical to success in anything that we do in life. Jesus set his face, which means he was now focused. When you make a decision to focus, it doesn't mean that all the issues in your life go away. You still have to deal with everyday life. Focus is fearlessness in the face of opposition. Confidence beyond the shadow of a doubt that you can do whatever you set your mind to. But you must set your mind. And the only way to keep yourself here, the same things that you did to get yourself there, you got to keep doing those same things. It's easier to obtain than to maintain. But you want to get out of this roller coaster ride. It can wear you out mentally and emotionally and frustrate you. That could be anything that you're involved with. Discipline is the bridge between thought and accomplishment. Discipline is the bridge between your dreams having become
what
reality.
He has brought me into the valley which was full something I am not sure can be resurrected.
It's like this and like that and like this. It's like that and like this and like that. The hand of the Lord was on me. He brought me by the Spirit to the middle of the valley. There was a great many bones all over, very dry bones. Here he led me back and forth. He asked me, son of man, can these dry bones live? My answer was, Lord, only you know if. Next thing, Jah told Winston to prophesy. And so I began to prophesy. Dry bones, hear the words of the sovereign. I'll put breath into you, and you'll come to life. I'll attach tendons, flesh to skin, then put breath into you. And while I was speaking, there was a noise, a rattling sound. The bones came together, bone by bone. Then the tendons, flesh, and skin were on them, but there was no breath in them. So I did exactly what he told me. Next he said, son of man, prophesy to the breath. Then from the four winds into the slain, so I prophesied as Jah commanded me. And breath entered them, and they came to life, and they stood on their feet, this vast army. Son of man, these are the bones of the people. Our bones are dried up, and our hope is gone. We are cut off, then the Lord said he's gonna open our graves and bring us up from them. I'll settle in you and your land, thus declares the Lord, the great I am. I remember walking around this place was familiar, so it made me feel safe. So I'd give it up on trying to escape. I was willing to accept living in defeat, because expectation can lead to disappointment. I made a home in the valley of disappointment. My low expectation had me chasing the wind. Things that brought me joy only lasted for the minute. I was a dead man walking zombie Resident Evil in a valley of dry bones hanging out with my people. All of us living that nigga lifestyle, ignorant type foul, proud to be wild, downplaying our own intelligence. The words that we said kept ourselves in others' bondage. I remember when the warden said I was free. I really didn't want to leave the penitentiary. I ain't going nowhere. When the general said I didn't have to fight anymore, I refused his offer because all I knew was war. Sleeping on my dry bones, telling myself lies. The Lord said, get up and prophesy. Then I was like, nah, Lord, I just want to get high. Then close my eyes, go to sleep and die. Then the Lord said, give it one more try. So like George Michael, I gave it one more try. Now it was dead and been made alive. And now it was dead and been made alive, y'all.
And the thing that you are complaining about being dry and very dry in your life is dry because you shut up. The only way that thing will live.
Winston was talking to Kristen the other night, telling her about his purpose in life, which is to inspire people to do what they love, but because of responsibilities we don't do, or we stop doing, and the joy in life fades away gradually. I told her we'd sit behind the piano as a child and play all night and day until adults. Told you was playing the wrong notes. They didn't know there's no such thing as wrong notes. They taught you scales and the proper formulation of chords. They taught you technique, but the thing that they never taught you was how to see you. And that's the most important thing I try to teach you. Most important. Exercise daily, eat properly, physically, mentally,
you have been
and spiritually.
by the words of your mouth. You are getting what you are saying. I'll never be loved. Nobody never loved me. If they want to say no me, they'll never love me. Want to say no me, they'll never like me. They'll never hire me. I got a record. You know why they're not hiring you? It's not because you got a record. They're not hiring you because you prophesied that they're not hiring you.
King David was sitting on a throne, thinking everything was good, but he didn't know. The beast or enemy was creeping on him slow, and out of jail he is forced to go. They put an iron mask on his face, so when he says he's the real king, people think he's loco. He looks at a guard whose name was Joe and tells him, I'm gonna be out of here, These doors look cheered, lets it grow, then he disappears like a ninja with a ball of smoke. Peace. This story Winston never wrote, and it's the reason why Winston tells stories in his flow. Get it? At 3:30 in the morning, he arose, jumped on his horse after putting on his clothes. He slew the old king by cutting off his dome. Now King David is back on the throne.
If you start prophesying record or not, somebody's gonna hire me. I'm fat, but somebody gonna love me. Somebody's gonna love this old chunky body. Glory to God. Somebody's gonna give me an opportunity. I'm going back to school and I'm gonna pass the test. I can learn. I can think. I can remember.
Osito got married. Congratulations. Anyway, one day I was hanging out with Justin. What up, Justin? I told him I'm what the game needs, the art game, the music game, and the video games need. And I'm also the thing that the dames need. Hang out with me and fall in love eventually. And the reason this happens is because I inspire people to do what they love. This gift was given to me by the Lord above. To start doing all this, hang out would be enough. Just to set a battle cipher is what we need to leave. But then I checked my smartwatch and it was time to leave. Now let's fast forward about 2 hours. You throw on some Lionel Richie, then you take a shower. And think about me while you're in the shower. Then when you get out, you wonder what clothes you're gonna put on. For when we hang out later, we have made each other's lives greater. And this is the purpose of all relationships, even if it's just a business relationship. It's like this and like that and like this. Do you wanna ride my magic carpet? Come on, girl. She said yes, then closed her eyes, gave me a hand, and now we're on the other side. The joy of living is being able to fly. The joy of living is being wrong sometimes. The joy of living is not living lies and not wasting all my money on getting high. The joy of living is making music and art, healing a broken heart, helping the poor. The joy of living is having someone you love, who loves you back like Teddy P used to say.
And there wasn't no pulpit at all.
G3.
Forget pulpit furniture.
Freestyle.
What I'm telling you is God's answer
G3.
didn't look like my vision at all.
Freestyle, baby.
What he gave me was a bare bones ministry. Bare bones, just a room with nothing. I didn't have no money.
Go for yours.
See, in my spirit I saw a church. But in my valley, I saw both. I know that you didn't get what you had in mind.
Go for yours, cause I
but you need to take what you got and turn it into what you had in mind. Y'all didn't hear that? I know you didn't get what you had in mind, but you need to take what you got and turn it into what you had in mind. God wants to turn them bones into an army.
From Wichita, Kansas, to don't trust anyone. To God so loved praise that he gave his only begotten son. Deep like the coral reefs, high like a ship, to HD 85512B. First chi energy is stored. Chi energy projected, creations born from thought, informations collected and used to form illustrations, art directed to the Lord. The objective to help others adore. The man reflected in the mirror before yourself. Disconnected from matter, expecting to have an afterlife. So true or connected, or what is all this alchemic mess written on the Daniel 5. So nexus, the prophet called. Our nexus strengthens when we feel God. The pineal gland performs telekinesis. We hold hands speaking, one big ohm, chanting spells of protection from omens, selecting to put all hope in the sword. There are only 2 mistakes one can make along the road. The truth, not going all the way, and not starting. You deserve your love and affection. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. Free as naked and outdoor blazes, like King David. The original resurrection, redemption from self-investments in the metaphysical, while I wrestle ignoring the world. The developing growth as an individual is hard to walk in. What I'm giving you, all I wanted was to be living proof and help those in sadness and pain, repeating the madness, lost in the game. I see my reflection with ways I've changed. I'm just like others who have lost the dream, some through the age, some impotent, some burden you for dreams you never wanted. We all fell short in some instances, and now must pursue new dreams for constant drive. The idol is a short road to death, and to be diligent is the way of life. It is better to conquer yourself than win 1,000 battles. No one saved but ourselves must walk the path. Do you want to be healed and enjoy life? 316, the time bomb ticking, smartwatch detonate when something's missing. I find ways to educate myself on the mission, then meditate, levitate like magicians. Back to the sitcom reality show, known as religion, shoved down the throat. Parallel dimension traveler on this highway, you're either the driver or passenger. Know your beliefs, take time to challenge it. The ego is fear that our faith inaccurate. Lies appear true when our lives are damaged with a past that makes us something disastrous. Religions uplifting and hazardous. Status quo living the rocking chair of death. My new life begins today in Shambhala. Eat the right foods to open my chakras. March 16th or $3.16. Holding anger is like grasping hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. I really want to believe there's an afterlife. Sense man with the dry colored hair. Mishmash sneakers all top the fly gear. The goddesses love my style of fashion. Robert Greene described me as a dandy when I was a little girl. I never knew the type of man I would grow up to be. Sometimes I'm God and sometimes I'm the devil. I can't tell the difference between gods and devils. The keys to world peace is probably due to being legalized, while at the same time legalizing weed worldwide and give people the rights to have protection. In other words, you don't need a license to carry a weapon. Here is mine, is yours is mine, so there's no need to carry a 9 or do any crimes. I know right now I'm rapping and thinking like a child, so please pass me my black book of my creative crayons, all the colored pencils, markers, and Photoshop, Vincent, this is drop that ordinary hip-hop. Now I can rap to you about the king brain explosion. Both organisms before this were simple, composed of individual cells. Anyway, I got a very short story to tell. One day adults started walking around with their teddy bears, literally taking them everywhere. One day science opened the door so that humans and animals could talk. So now I talk to my cat and she understands and she answers me back. Nobody is ready for Oscar. I think lucky for naming me Tornado and this rock on invisibility cloak, which I actually invented a couple of years ago. True. The man on the inside can't see what's on the outside. It's this advanced mirroring, something I really can't explain. I don't know. The science is deep like cloning a sheep. A glow-in-the-dark cat named Mr. Green Cheek. Sometimes I cry when I watch cartoons. I used to cry when I watch pornos, dude. I did. Because I was so heartbroken. I got another story to tell, so now I'ma go in. Back in the days, I would use magic to try to get my wishes granted. But what always happened, I would end up entrapped in. Then I got out. And now that I'm out, I ain't going back in. Travel with me through the wormhole. Go and live in our comfort zone with our bases, our cognitive distortion, giving justification to the prison mentality we perpetuate. Okay, let's return and embrace the place we were at before, which was great. People outside naked, we legalized adults with teddy bears. Teddy bears coming to life. Rainbows, pops, and goes up because I asked Honey, is this your first time riding a unicorn? She said yes. She didn't know that unicorn even existed. Anyway, I got another story. Can I kick it? I fought a dragon and I cut off his head with my blade. It's like King Dave did with Goliath back in the days. Hands raised because I am the champ. Victorious, yes, I am the man. I leave the place with the belt on my waist. Jump in my ride and play dirt base, get the gas face. And the crowd of people who hate me, who love me. I love me, I hate me. I'm beautiful, I'm ugly. My music is always dedicated to artists, and it doesn't matter to me what the art is. I do my own thing, you do your own thing. Slick Rick taught me an art of storytelling. Let's get back to my childlike vision. No more mental silence, no more prisons. Love is the answer, I don't sound like a heavy, make love, not war. Literally. What's the Big Bang, how it all began? A little girl grabs her dad's hand and asks questions to what she doesn't understand. But sometimes it's man to deceive her. And as she grows older, she finds out she can't trust the teachers and preachers either. When she lies to them, she gets punished. When they lie to her, they get rewarded. Friends, lovers, psychiatrists, family, insanity. Anyway, I'm back in the ring, let me do my thing. I'm the king. I got Janice in front of me, and I got my girl the muse behind me. In creation, I'm really just a vessel. Anyway, let me tell you another story. In those days, I had the people on the hip. It wasn't connected, I was just trying to look cool. I used to rap about being a thug, but I wasn't a thug. To hear the truth, I was really just a fool. The octopus lives from 6 months to 5 years. The cousin of the octopus is the squid. They're both nicknamed the monsters of the deep. I walk by the homeless every day of the week. She sleeps on the corners of 42nd Street. I'm stressed the dirt on my Jordan sneakers. I don't want to do in 20 and the guy doing 5 to 10 like plain James in the streets ain't your friend. Because America needs more slaves. The poor stay poor and the rich they pay. Let's just some coke and have raw sex with strangers. Drive fast, drunk and naked, not afraid of the danger. You know what? That last part, probably not a good idea. Just ignore that. Anyway, let's continue with the stories. When my new album dropped, the fools took the clever all together, said it was the best album ever. They got educated, they got illuminated. It was greatness. This led many to greatness. Their plea got fulfilled, their chi got Proverbs 22:6. Let's first dwell on OT's cowards and murder pagans. The Revelations, Manifest Destiny, Christian crusades, or whatever religious war or massacre you know is going on today. Let's go. First come the beat, then the rapper. Dave went sands, giving praise to the master, who I call God's words implanted. My heirloom passed down my parents. What if Christians are wrong and access into heaven is only granted through our different ism? We blast at making us victims of the faith we stand for.
Matthew 7:21 to
Revelation 20. John 14:6.
Based on the info I've gathered, there's no man that can't know the answers. Inside areas, many will have some will be sages, scientists, pastors, all claim to speak truth to enlighten masses. People will be fooled by men of status. Men will accept these lies as a standard. Ruler of truth, the writer of own canon. How do we know they're teaching us facts in any secular spiritual classroom? Man's faith and growth are what matters. So fact, truth, and logic are not factors.
Corinthians 6.
Matthew 6 verse 33.
Corinthians 2.
2 Corinthians 5 verse 7.
Blind faith leads to disaster. Then masking, acting like nothing happened. Rather solo on life or by faction. Straight from the light to continue the pattern. To hold on to Christ, all I can is to challenge. Much like the Bible, ignorant like my action. Sometimes like Lenin's imagine. No religion, nothing hereafter. Just like mundane material fabrics. If we all had this faith, how would man live today? We are zealous. The star seven tragic. What we believe is right, and they dragging it. This when added to man's arrogance, guarantees we be living in sad madness. Praising God as an actor, claiming to be free, forcing myself to believe and not receive hell.
John 1:15-17.
Acts 10 verse 30. First Corinthians.
You are dead, and this is hell. So abandon all hope and yada yada yada. We're now going to start the orientation process, which will last about. Hey, wait a minute! I shouldn't be here. I was a totally strict and devout Protestant. I thought we went to heaven. Yes, well, I'm afraid you were wrong. I was a practicing Jehovah's Witness. You picked the wrong religion as well. Well, who was right? Who gets into heaven?
With nowhere else to go, I turn backwards to the sea. Implanted by parents, aided by the factions of the land where based society on the scriptures, commandments seek each claim to have this most advertisement techniques to track the the mistake for God based in handed pride giving enjoyment to life when added. Strength is self so God man can't have great shame that causes brain damage. Plan to the king who can't slay the dragon. Scientists and historians attacking each other's lives with so-called facts that claim that statement. Men stand on it, that's I'm right, you're wrong.
Revelation 20. John 14:6.
Corinthians 6.
Matthew 6 verse 33.
Corinthians 2.
2 Corinthians 5 verse 7.
See, what you need to understand is
John 1:15-17.
I study this.
1 Corinthians 1.
And the studies I put into it make me a guru. So I'm imparting to you great wisdom that you should be listening to, observing,
Matthew 7:21-23.
taking in,
Corinthians 2.
John 14:6.
Corinthians 6.
2 Corinthians 5 verse 7. Matthew 6 verse 33.
John 1:15-17.
Revelation 20. 1.
I am feeling crazy, which is praise-centered, not self-esteem centered, not my ego.
Where am I? Where are we? What's happening?
What's going on?
Hello, newcomers, and welcome.
Good.
Can everybody hear me?
Did I hear you?
Can everybody? Okay. I'm the Hell Director. It looks like we have about 8,615 of you newbies today. And for those of you who were a little confused, you are dead, and this is Hell. so abandon all hope and yada yada yada. We're now going to start the orientation process, which will last about, hey, wait a minute, I shouldn't be here. I was a totally strict and devout Protestant. I thought we went to heaven. Yes, well, I'm afraid you were wrong. I was a practicing Jehovah's Witness. You picked the wrong religion as well. Well, who was right? Who gets into heaven? I'm afraid it was the Mormons.
Damn Mormons.
Mormons were the
Joseph
crackheads.
Smith.
So now I'd like to quickly introduce your new ruler and master for eternity,
All right,
Satan.
who this? Oh, Satan.
Now you are all part of my domain. Every day in hell grows larger as my minions.
Every new show still about
My
Christ.
minions.
Well, that's what it says.
I'm sorry, I just can't do this today.
Corinthians 5,
I'm sorry.
verse 7.
Matthew 7:21 through 23.
Okay.
John
I'm
14:6.
great wisdom
Revelation 20.
based on studies. And this great wisdom reveals the truth.
Matthew 6, verse 33.
Maybe we do not want to accept the truth.
Philippians 2.
1 Corinthians
But you must take the truth,
John 1:15
bend
through
over,
17.
and take the truth.
I was a totally strict and devout Protestant. I thought we went to heaven.
Feel good,
Yes,
though.
well, I'm afraid you were wrong. I was a practicing Jehovah's Witness. You picked the wrong religion as well. Well, who was right? Who gets into heaven?
But real confidence is faith taking a step against fear. Faith is having a positive attitude about yourself and what you can do, and yet not worrying about what you cannot do. A confident person doesn't concentrate or focus on their weaknesses, they maximize their strengths. Men have no business with authority if they won't take responsibility.
The essential principle of all life is growth. Religion and philosophy can help us, but they cannot compensate for the fact that we do not apply in daily living the rules and principles that would make life
Essentially makes up our brain and our nervous system, and is responsible for the thoughts and our feelings. What I want to do is first just show you what a neuron looks like. So let's say I have a neuron. In the middle you have your soma, and then the soma is considered the body of the neuron. And then the neuron has these little things sticking out from it, and these branches off of the soma of the neuron, off of its body. These are dendrites. Sometimes different parts of different cells perform other functions, but these tend to be where the neuron receives its signal. And then we have kind of a, you can almost view it as a tail of the neuron.
Scientists around the world have started engineering tiny bacterial robots, magnetically controlled by computers, which, when gang together, can perform impressive feats of engineering. They're being engineered to beat cancer.
We encase drug molecules in the liposome. Nanometer size bag. There are special types of bacteria which has a nanocomplex inside. And what we do is we just orient like a driving wheel, if you want. We just drive it towards its point.
First law, a robot may not harm a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. Number two, a robot must obey orders given it by qualified personnel unless those orders violate rule number one. In other words, a robot can't be ordered to kill a human being. Rule number three, a robot must protect its own existence unless that violates rules 1 or 2. A robot must cheerfully go into self-destruction if it is in order to follow an order or
There to are
save
dark
human life.
forces at work here. My name is Quantum Man. I have come to your universe to protect the innocent. There are no useful gadgets in my utility belt. I have very powerful inner thighs. Sclodius Maximus can be a deadly weapon. On my world, I was known as a bum. My super speed is no match for you. I have the speed of quantum physics to save me. Only the power of string theory saved me. Does not look good for your universe. Agreed, good citizen. Do you wish to join the subatomic paradise? Have you never seen a molecular reaction? Dark forces have gathered here, as pleasing as subatomic strings, fortuitous as the proton mountains. Glory be to this particle-powered
Dealing with the end of the dollar.
There's a build-up hostility with America because we've been bullying the world. But once they see that our economy is in trouble and they have a chance to do something, they get sick and tired of these sanctions that are put on countries because we tell them, nope, you can't talk, you can't do this, which means that we're closer to that point where there may be a precipitous fall.
To get, you have to give. In exchange, your burdens, your heaviness, your sins, etc., for God's freedom, for God's grace, for God's gladness, for God's joy. Maturity doesn't come with age. You don't automatically mature because you're getting older. Maturity begins with the acceptance of responsibility for our words, our thoughts, our motives, our actions, and our attitudes. Why our words? Because our words have creative power. All truth is confrontational, but only truth brings the conviction necessary for change. And you will not change something until you're convicted of the need
Your witness is going to determine if people ever get to see the Lord. Without holiness, no man shall see the Lord. We do have to be mightily concerned about what we're giving off. Why should I get saved? I'm looking at you. I'm checking you out. And you want me to be saved? I'm better than you unsaved than you are saved. What do you have to do to see the Lord? Believe in Jesus Christ. You don't go to hell because of sin. People go to hell because they reject the payment for their sin through the precious blood.
I found it any way possible to inflict pain on myself. And I really wanted to kill myself. I really don't see any reason anymore to go on. Because the more that I think about the future for myself, I don't see a future. There's nothing wrong with suicide. If suicide is the option for a person, it's totally okay and understandable.
The art of storytelling. We're gonna end this journey with what Q-Tip would call a fly love song. Give me the microphone, I'ma show you the real meaning of the digit song. Hey lover, this is more than a crush. I try to front and hide when I know that I'm the type of guy that'll just deny I need love. I see any pretty faces start fantasizing, not sexualize it, really romanticizing. I was with some, yeah, I know we just met, but let's get married and have a lot of sex without protection. See, I was hypnotized by the lies inside of my movies until I realized true beauty is only seen by the third eye. So a woman doesn't have to be fly to be a true ruby. But what I mean is something that's precious, something that's valuable, something that's expensive, something that money can't buy. So I dedicate this song to my Sherry Moore.
No, better with more feeling. You don't even know the words. Now listen to me, listen.
My Sherry Moore, distant as a Milky Way.
When I tell you that you're beautiful, I'm not making a reference to your physical, But though to me you are a goddess, a masterpiece, and Jah is the artist. I was chilling with you the other day. Every word to you that I say, every word decoded is translated, I love you. And I want you to love me back, please. Back, let's get to my cognitive distortions, which I be having often. When you look at me, you blush and smile. Do you feel it too, or is that just your style? So for you, I made this freestyle. Mic check 1, 2, let me lay it down. I prayed, then I got the thoughts in my head. Together, I wrote your letter. This is what it said.
Yeah, but this is what you're doing is ridiculous. It's nothing like, I know Stevie Wonder, man, and he's like, you have to mellow out when you do Stevie. You're too tense. Loosen up. Okay. The secret to doing Stevie Wonder, you gotta smile a lot like this. You see, you gotta smile.
You mean like this?
Kinda.
Like this?
That's almost it. You ain't really got it yet. Move your neck like somebody choking you like this.
Just like Isaac Hayes to the Jackson 5. I never can say goodbye. Though I tried to hide my feelings, they always seem to show. Tell me, why is it so? When you read my letter, you were so flattered, but then you told me no. Or then you gave me good reasons. All they did was feed in to my inner demons. I was heartbroken, but said, yeah, I understand. I walked away after shaking your hand. I threw on my shades so nobody could see I was crying. Inside of this game, I'm the one that's always wanted, not being wanted. But what I mean, I'm the one who's always seeing but never getting seen. I'm always falling in love with the wrong people. But even getting a kiss or a hug seems impossible. Fantasizing about you and I together, sharing our lives, our art and music. That night you called me, said you're gonna give me a chance, and then we began to dance. I told her I'm not the man that I once was, a man who made excuses due to my cognitive distortions. Then me and you made this fly love song, beautiful music, a Solomon song.
will I find true love. I got so much to live for. It stinks like my underwear. It's the real deal. Yes, sirree. Plenty of aliens to catch. Gotta run. Yeah, whatever. Can I speak with you? Hello there, missy. Excuse me, miss. Excuse me, sir. I hate to bother you, but you have a good day now. You ever smoked that icky? You ever sucked the fudge out of a rusty brown donut? You ever been to that glory hole theme park? You ever seen the lights of Los Venturas? The city's full of life this time of year. I love the smell of a freshly mowed lawn. I was gonna be an alien.
And so, I'm trying to see the essence. What I'm trying to say is the technology that we have today that makes things possible that were impossible even 30, 40 years ago. So there's no telling where we can go with the advancement of AI and IA when they come together. These possibilities are inevitable. Transhumanism. This is the religion of the end of humanity. Humanity as we know it will no longer exist in less than 100 years. There will be these new your companion. I am your friend. Trust me. You will.
What I